Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com coming to you with my Wednesday weekend look ahead, looking at spots here in the NBA, the NHL, and the college basketball betting world for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Over at BangTheBook.com, lots of great work being done by our talented cast of writers. I've got all of my MLB preseason stuff up with 30 MLB season win total previews and all my futures, including divisions, pennants, individual player awards, all that type of stuff. Kyle Hunter's daily college basketball picks piece, Parker Michaels' daily NHL picks piece. Lots of great stuff coming your way here for March Madness. I'm also working on my Major League Baseball team-by-team, game-by-game betting angles that you want to look for, matchup-specific things, individual pitchers and players, all that type of stuff. So I'll start rolling that out over at BangTheBook.com here as we're just about 2 weeks away from the start of the Major League Baseball season. If you caught anything, if you missed anything, I should say, on Bang the Book Radio here this week, you can check out all the segments here on our Bang the Book YouTube page, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We'll be doing a UFC preview with Christian Pina, recording that tomorrow. Also going to give my thoughts on the National League East Division when I post that recording, probably tomorrow afternoon or evening. And then next week we'll have shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as we look ahead to Thursday and the true start of March Madness. We do get those play-in games Tuesday and Wednesday night, but the round of 64 on Thursday. So no shows Thursday, Friday next week. We'll do a one-off UFC segment, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with Bang the Book Radio. All right, let's get into the situational spots and things of that sort here for this weekend across the NBA, NHL, and college basketball. We start in the association, and we'll start Friday night here. Lakers on the road at the Pistons. The Lakers have come out and said LeBron's going to be on minutes restrictions. He's not going to play back-to-backs. Well, this is the first back-to-back for the Lakers since that announcement was made. They'll be in Motown to take on the Pistons here. A lot of things I'm interested in seeing for this game. First of all, I'm curious to see how the market adjusts to LeBron being out. Obviously, we've got a pretty good benchmark for that with the injury that he sustained earlier on in the season. But I'm really curious to see what it looks like now with all the other injuries for the Lakers. And also the fact that, this minutes restriction for LeBron is a clear sign of them throwing in the towel for this season. Now, I'm also curious to see, because LeBron hasn't really been a great fit in LA as of yet. I don't think he gets along particularly well with some of the younger players that are there. The veteran guys that, he kind of handpicked haven't really worked out either. Do the Lakers kind of give a middle finger effort in LeBron's absence here this week? Or do they just kind of roll over and die and, be a team that gets blown out by a pretty average Pistons team? Very curious to see how this plays out. I think the Lakers have 3 back-to-backs left on the schedule. So file some things away here for this one for some of those later back-to-backs that they will have. On Saturday, we move to the Warriors versus the Thunder. Always a little bit more on the line here when you get KD up against Russ. I'm kind of interested to see what the Warriors wind up doing this week. They play the Rockets here tonight. And again, we previewed over at BangTheBook.com. Then they've got this game here against the Thunder. And, it's been kind of a pedestrian regular season for the Warriors. They've got some drama and some things going on as well with Draymond Green and, maybe Steve Kerr a little bit disenfranchised based on that mouth or that lip reading clip we saw over last weekend. Do they make a statement in this game? Did they make a statement on Wednesday night? We don't know yet because that game hasn't gone off yet. But will they look to make some statements? Will they look to ride into the playoffs on a high note here? I'm not sure, but I can tell you this is a start of 6 games in 9 days for the Warriors. So keep an eye out for them to probably be resting some guys and things of that sort next week. We move to Sunday here in the NBA. We'll talk about 3 games coming up on Sunday. The first, the Lakers on the road at the Knicks. Sunday afternoon game here, 12 o'clock Eastern time tip-off for this one. So very early start time for the Lakers. Now, LeBron will be well-rested, assuming that the Lakers hold true and don't play him on Friday. Usually goes off at Madison Square Garden. You put him in a big city, in a big venue, in the spotlight, he usually winds up going off, but will have the minutes restriction, obviously. And again, I'm curious to see how the Lakers play on Friday. How do they play on Sunday when LeBron comes back into the lineup? Will it be the LeBron James show? Will he just go out there, try to hang a number in New York City? Will he play with his teammates? Will his teammates play for him? A lot of intriguing things here for the Lakers, especially taking on a Knicks team that is just absolutely horrible in so many different ways. Will they show up on Sunday? Interesting game there, to say the least. Probably not much from a betting standpoint, but still some things you want to follow along with to file away some notes on the Lakers moving forward. The Hawks and the Magic on Sunday. This is a back-to-back for Atlanta, but they play Saturday afternoon in Boston, then play Sunday. I believe this is a early evening start time here in Orlando for this game. So it's not a traditional back-to-back, but this is a must-win game for Orlando. When you're a team fighting for the playoffs, you have to beat these inferior teams, and in particular, you have to beat them at home. So I want to see what this means for Orlando going forward here. Do they play with that killer instinct? Are they able to cover some bigger numbers than we're used to seeing from the Magic? I think there's some interesting considerations there in that game between the Hawks and Orlando. Finally, in the NBA, Nets at Clippers here on Sunday. The Nets are on a 15-day road trip. November. Wow. March 13th to March 28th. The A10 tournament going on in Brooklyn this weekend. Just the Islanders next week. So, a lot of open dates. Not a whole lot going on there at the Barclays Center. I don't know. They are getting set up for the rock and roll induction ceremony, so there is that. But Brooklyn going to be in an extended road trip here. This is a back-to-back alpha game in altitude. They play in Salt Lake City on Saturday, then play the Clippers on Sunday. Again, a lot of time away from home, a lot of downtime on the road, some off days, things of that sort. Be interesting to see how Brooklyn stays sharp on this road trip. All right, we move over to the NHL side of things here. We start Saturday with a game between the Predators and the Sharks. Fourth game in 6 days for the Sharks against a very balanced, very deep Nashville Predators team. Predators playing the California swing here, but 3 games in 5 days as opposed to 3 games in 4 days like teams usually play. So Nashville a little bit more rested than those teams that go out to California usually wind up being in the final game of that swing. I think the spot kind of favors Nashville a little bit because of that. But battle between playoff teams here. 2 very solid teams. Should be a good game on Saturday. The Rangers take on the Wild on Saturday. So back-to-back for the Rangers. Calgary on Friday night. The Twin Cities on Saturday. Ideal situational spot here for Minnesota. They're going to be laying a substantial number. Maybe this is a puck line consideration, especially if you look at the goaltending rotation for the Rangers. The Minnesota Wild, much like the Orlando Magic in the previous segment there, must win games against inferior teams at home when you're fighting for the postseason. They have to take care of business here. I think they should, and like I said, the puck line, probably a consideration here, especially if we see what that Rangers goaltender rotation looks like. Also on Saturday in the NHL, Columbus Blue Jackets on the road against the Boston Bruins. Rapid revenge theory game here for Boston. They lost on Tuesday night to Columbus 7-4 at Nationwide Arena. Second game of a back-to-back for Columbus again. Monday they played the Islanders and then played the Bruins. Friday they'll play Carolina, then play the Bruins again, but this time on the road. So no easy spots here for a Columbus team, really fighting for its playoff lives at this point in time. Tough game coming up on Saturday against a team looking for some immediate revenge. The Blues and the Sabres play on Sunday, back-to-back here for both teams. But how about this back-to-back for Buffalo? For St. Louis, they play a day game in Pittsburgh, then they go for this 5 o'clock game in Buffalo. Not bad, not a big deal. Buffalo plays Saturday night in Raleigh against Carolina. 7 o'clock puck drop, may even be 7:30. It's one of the 7s down there in North Carolina. Then they've got to fly back home, get back to the rink early for this 5 o'clock Eastern time game with a Buffalo team that's not really in the playoff hunt anymore, not really playing for a whole lot. Blues as a road pick here makes a ton of sense on Sunday. We'll see what the price looks like for that game. We'll see if the spot sets up. But St. Louis will be on my radar for Sunday. Finally, one more game on the ice. This one's a very obvious situational spot on Sunday. New Jersey Devils playing a 4th road game in 5.5 days against the Colorado Avalanche. So 4th game in altitude, 5.5 days because this is a 1 o'clock p.m. puck drop. So early start time here for the Devils. They'll be looking forward to getting home. Colorado can name the score in this one if they want, but this will be a substantial line as well. So maybe you want to look to maybe open parlay with the Wild and the Avalanche, or just look for those puck lines and kind of take that price down a little bit. Finally, we'll talk some generalities here about college basketball for this weekend. Conference tournament finals on Saturday are MAC, MEAC, SWAC, ACC, Big 12, Big East, Big Sky, Conference USA, Mountain West, Pac-12, WAC, and the Big West. So auto bids on the line there in some of those conferences, and some of the major conferences, teams looking to strengthen their seeding. Then on Sunday, A10, Big Ten, SEC, Southland, AAC, and the Ivy League conference tournaments will come to a close. You want to pay attention to scheduling here in all these conference tournaments this week. 3 games in 3 days, 4 games in 4 days, quick turnarounds. There are some of those where you play late the night before, then play the championship game in the early afternoon because they need to accommodate for Selection Sunday on St. Patrick's Day. So all the conference tournament finals games on Sunday will be played early in the afternoon. So there could be some situational spots coming from the semifinals to the championship games on Saturday and especially on Sunday. So you absolutely want to factor those things into the equation. Fatigue could be a huge factor for some of these teams, especially those that may be playing a 4th game in 4 days. So goes without saying, it'll be baked into the line, but a good reminder for you here as conference tournaments come to a close and as we find out what the March Madness field is going to look like. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.